Yo, what's up? So, I'm taking a nice little walk around the park here. It's cold as fuck. Me and my boy Scoot, I don't know if you can see him. But, it's crazy. I don't know. This is just a little, I wouldn't say diary update, but it's just a little word update. So, I haven't done one of these in a while. Basically, the world's going into straight craziness right now. Or it has been. It's been leading up to this moment for quite some time. Australia is straight up full on tyranny, lockdown, like Nazi Germany style. They haven't necessarily started killing people in camps yet, but they're on the verge of doing it. They're creating the camps. They've been creating the camps, getting funding. Basically, everyone's tax dollars are going towards building the asylums and the places where they're going to try and house our families and contain us and kill us off. Just coming right out the gate, you know. It's another race. It's another race of existence that basically there's other races of whatever you want to call them, aliens, extraterrestrials, just other forms of life, intelligent life that have created humanity. They created us. Ancient Sumeria, ancient Egypt, all those had tons of cuneiforms and hieroglyphs that explain this. They explain how gods walked upon us on those times. That's when much of our information that was bestowed upon the people was given to them. Great lengths of information about science, astrology. It was it's basically everything. And since then, humanity has been in a power struggle for fighting for its freedom and being contained by its oppressors. It's a constant story throughout history. You see it everywhere. It's always a fight for people for their freedom. Trying to get it. Trying to contain it, trying to keep it, trying to break free from slavery, all forms, all types. And right now, we're in another form of slavery. We have the illusion that we have freedom because we can go to stores, we can buy things that we want, we can start a family. I mean, for the most part in America, we have essentially had freedom at one point. But now that freedom, although on face value, it still appears as if we still have it, to anyone that has awakened out of the deep slumber and has actually activated their intellect, and their pineal gland is no longer dormant, it's active, and they can see through all of these lies, all of the bullshit, and they can look at the world as a big chessboard. You can see how all the moving parts come together and how they make sense. Otherwise, if you don't have that ability, then you can't see through it. Not to mention through the heavy amounts of brainwashing that constantly goes on and has been going on for years. Basically ever since the internet got around, ever since journalism became a thing, ever since the news has become such a pivotal role in people's life. And information, basically, when we gave away our own drive and desire and thirst for our own truth, for our own information, you know, that's when we were connected with it. But once we gave that away, that's when, what do you know, all the fuckery starts happening. It's like this every time. It happens in history countless times. You get to a point where you get comfortable, you get stagnant, your energy gets stagnant. Something else starts to come along and take that away from you. It's a natural thing that just keeps happening. It's hard to know if it's spiritual principle or if it's the increase and decrease in, or higher and lower states of consciousness that the earth wobbles through constantly, affecting humanity that's on it. It's hard to know all the moving parts to it, but it constantly keeps going on. But as many texts we have read, we're coming to a time, a sign of the times, where everything is starting to come together. All these crazy things are starting to take place. All these little markers or sounds of the trumpets and revelations that is ticking off all of these things, these prophecies that are explaining this is what's happening, this is what's coming. And it's a dark time it's supposed to be coming. I mean, we're already in it. We're already in one, but it's apparently supposed to get even worse, you know? And I think that's something that we have to accept. I think we are fighting for our freedom, and people are really starting to become aware, especially after 2020, clear vision happened this following year. People have totally did a 180. People are really, really waking up on a much more massive global scale. You don't hear about it, but tons of other countries are having, you know, they're basically standing up to the tyranny. They know exactly what's going on. They know that it's the government's trying to control us. They understand that we have a common enemy. And obviously, the information outlets won't cover this, because if people knew it, it'd be very empowering. And if anything, it'd be a huge validation to people's gut feelings they've been having about the whole vaccine, about the whole COVID, rolling it all out. As basically this little enemy that no one can blame, COVID-19, you know. They use natural forces to basically create a boogeyman that controls you in the name of safety. And they've been doing that for quite some time. The way that they manipulate masses of people is by using scare tactics. They instill great amounts of fear. And anyone that knows, fear is the lowest vibration a human can feel. When you keep a population in a state of fear constantly, they're easily moldable. Very easily moldable. And that's how it's designed. I mean, people have written books on this. Albert Pike, the 33rd degree Mason, the morals of dogma, basically explained all this. To be able to control a mass of people is by controlling their information outlets, controlling their food sources, controlling their financial sources or their freedom sources, basically controlling every single outlet possible in their life, and dress it up as if they have freedom, and use things like safety and in the name of good-heartedness to actually be a costume over the true entity or the true notion to take over and to do something evil, as it's always dressed in something that appears good. Many groups have been created out of this same exact principle. You take something that seems like it's an issue, or it can be an issue, they create the issue basically, and then they give the solution. So pretty much they've just been totally fucking and toying with the entire population of the planet for a long time, but especially the past 20 years, since the 90s, since the early 2000s up to now, they have really, really been fucking with people like a total science experiment. Doing this here, doing that there, dropping little nuggets just to see how people react, just to push them in certain directions, to forcibly make them make a decision that is going to be obvious after you create a certain impact. So this has been going on for quite some time, and I guess the real thing, or the real question is how do we wake up out of it? How do we get out of this slumber, this state of being controlled and propelled into a direction that we don't even recognize is happening? Well, for one, the message has to be pure, and it has to be with love. I mean, I guess the truth of the matter is not everyone is going to wake up. I don't even think majority of people are going to wake up. But those who we can, and those who are strong forces, those are the people that we need to show what's going on with love, with compassion, with the realization that, hey, we're not trying to defer you on our political views or ideas. These aren't views. These are facts. This is what's happening. And the quicker people can sharpen their discernment and recognize what that is, and take their own growth, mental, physical, spiritual, emotional, they can take that into their own hands. That's when we can start waking up. Individually, it has to spark amongst people inside themselves. And you're not going to do it by arguing, by fighting. Maybe some people. Maybe it hits them like a brick wall, but for the most part, you have to invite them in a very kind way, an inviting way, a way of compassion that shows you, hey, look, like, I love you, I care about you, I care about people, I'm trying to help you, I'm trying to show you, you need to see this, you need to wake up. These people, they don't want you safe. These people, they don't want to help you. These people, they want to see you and your children die. Do you hear me? They don't want to see you win. For quite some time, it's been this way. I mean, since the beginning of it all. Story of Enki and Enlil explains the same exact thing. The fight for humanity and having the tools in it. Scoot! Hey! Scoot. Let's go. Anyway, sorry, my dog's freaking out. Probably a bear. It's been a fight for freedom for a long time. Ever since the beginning of man that we know. So it is our birthright. It is our path to fight, to constantly prove, hey, this is us. We will rise up. We deserve our freedom. We're not going to be controlled. We're spiritual. We're strong. We're much more than just our physical bodies. We have a spiritual plot. We have a reason to our existence. We're not just robots. We're not just some little batteries that power some big system that controls us all. Maybe at some points, but not anymore. People are waking up. People are realizing, and we have to keep going. We can't allow these people to take over, because you and your children and your children's children will see some of the darkest times we've ever seen on this planet. So that's what we have to do. Just a little update for y'all. God bless.